Oh my god, I need to talk to you about my day yesterday. If you watched my last video, you would know that I was like like a day and a half in Baltimore for work. And I was super tired. And so yesterday I was like, okay, finally I managed to get myself like in a state where I thought that I could take a nap during the day. I was snuggling my dog. Everything was calm and great. And then I'm scrolling my phone, and of course, the algorithm shows me Patti Smith because I'm on her profile enough, right? That she's coming up first. And for anyone that's new here, I mean, I'm just a huge Patti Smith fan. I mean, like, I should get in line, right? Like, everyone, that's probably, like, so many people love her. I mean, she's so loved. That's by no means like a unique experience to be like obsessed with Patti Smith, but I can say that like my relationship with her work feels to me like a deeply personal um like tether between us. You hear my dog, he's biting on a toy. Just I've loved her writing for so long. Like every book that I've touched of hers, I've just I mean, yeah, the words don't even come out of my mouth to describe what I think about her as an artist, her music as well, of course. Like, I think the first book I read of hers was Devotion, and that was gorgeous. And then, of course, like Just Kids and M Train and Year of the Monkey was like a Bible for me when it first came out. I need to reread that, like, maybe next week. um, so yeah, I mean, and her Substack and everything. I mean, I've spoken enough about her, right, and raved about also what an incredible human being she is. But I'll get to that. So I, yeah, was in bed, and then my Instagram shows me that she's like, "Thank you so much for coming to my," a little video on her Instagram. "Thank you so much for coming to my book signing." And I knew that she was doing a book signing when I was in Baltimore, and I was like gutted that I was gonna miss it. Because I've been like waiting to meet her in New York because, you know, it's her city, and frequently like she does events and stuff. So, and then and then at the end of that video, she's like, "Oh, and by the way, tomorrow I'll be signing books at McNally Jackson in Soho." And I was like, "Oh my God, tomorrow, Friday, incredible. Like, I have nothing to do tomorrow. This sounds amazing. My dreams come true." And then I realized like this video was posted the day before. So she meant that day, yesterday. As I was in bed, she was like, "I'm going to be signing books in literally 45 minutes from now." And I never gotten out of bed so fast. Not tired at all. Running out of the house. My hair is driving me crazy. And I was like, "Can I make it on a train there?" She said she starts at 1 o'clock. And then in the video, she's also like, "I'm gonna be there for a couple hours." So I was like, "Okay, I can make it there by 2:30," hoping that she's still there. So all of this to say, you really didn't need that whole story, but just for exciting anxiety context, um, I run on a train and I go and buy her book. The whole reason why she's doing these signings is because the paperback of this new book of hers called A Book of Days was just released. Who publishes this? Random House. I've been eyeing the hardcover for a long time, and then I was like, I've been traveling so much and am moving around, and like I don't think that I can buy this book until I have a little bit more clear about my home is a little clearer, and I have like my own coffee table to put it on or something. Walked into the store, bought a copy, stood in line, and was just like so excited to meet her that I think I blacked out, truly. So I hand my phone to the kind of worker there. She was really sweet. She was like, "Yeah, I'm today's photographer. I'm taking pictures of everyone." So so I'll put an image here. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was such a short. interaction with her, you know, because there's a long line and she's there for a long time and she's so sweet. Like, let me just tell you how it went. So I'm standing there. I go up to her. I'm like, "Huh?" I just blacked out. Really, I don't remember. The sad part is I feel like I met her, but I don't remember meeting her. Or like I was like, did I even look at her? I mean, really, I was just so overwhelmed and there was so many things that I wanted to say to her, but in the end I was just like, I just think you're so incredible and you're so inspiring. And she was like, looked at me and she was like, is that a coat? And I was like, oh no, it's just like my scarf. And she was like, can may I touch it? I was like, may you touch my scarf? Do you want my scarf? I'll give you my fucking scarf. Like, and she was like, wow, I love this. They don't make this kind of material anymore. They don't make this print anymore. I love this print. I was like, yes, me too. Like, it's my partner's scarf. Like, I think we got it in Italy or something. And she was like, don't lose it. And I was like, I will not lose it. But also, do you want it? Like, I can give it to you. And she signed the book. It says my name. Also, she was like, Ben with two N's or one N? And I was like, two N's? Like, where are the Bens with two N's? Because that is very interesting to me, but I was like, only one. So anyway, this is like probably the single-handedly most prized possession that I now have. Um, and I just like can't believe it. I really can't believe it. It was so short. I really wish, um, you know, I had more time or, you know, yeah, I mean, in the end, right, we wish to just like sit down to a coffee with her. But she's just such a generous spirit and so beautiful. And like, I could hear her voice before I arrived to her. Like, when I was in the line, I was like, she sang someone happy birthday. And it was just like, what I really wanted to say, and I will use this video as like a way to say what I wanted to say to her, which was that like the artistry aside, I mean, she is an incredible artist. Like her kind of writing is like if I could write something, I would want to write like that. Like I feel like her writing describes a way that I see imagery and the way that I dream and like it just touches me so deeply. But like artistry aside, I mean, I wanted to say to her like what an incredible human being you are, you know? Like she really is the example of what it means to have like just a good spirit, like to be a good human being. Like she really calls for change in the most strong but delicate ways, and she just is like, I'm just like, what? I mean, how lucky we are to have a human being like this on the earth who has a fucking Substack. Like, we get to get these little gems of like humanity in our inboxes from this icon who like wouldn't have to share her generosity with the world, and she does time and time again on an occasion after occasion after occasion. She's just such a good person. Like I feel like I wanted to tell her what a good human she was, and of course like there's no not awkward way to put that, and like I said, I blacked out. So who knows really what I said even, and now I need to reread her whole oeuvre. And yeah, what can I say? It was like after I met her and I left, and it just like flashed across my experience was like a train that just was like whoosh, and then I just couldn't help but like cry walking down Bleecker Street. So anyway, that was a really special moment for me, and I posted a picture on Instagram, like totally flexing, and everyone was like so um, wonderful and like supportive and like freaking out with me online. So that was so nice. And then the day gets better. So the day gets better because it happens to be the day of literary events in New York City. And on the train, on the way to meet Patty, I see that McNally Jackson is also doing, in a different location, an event with Olga Raun, um, the Danish author that wrote The Employees and my work. Which, of course, this blew up whenever it was published. I don't remember, was that like 2 years ago? Yeah, 2022 when this came out. It like was, I think it was, yeah, shortlisted for the International Booker Prize. And like, I didn't meet or hear almost one person that didn't love this book or think that it was like super interesting or very thought provoking, or even like incredibly emotional. And yeah, it just like it did the rounds, right? Translated by Martin Aitken. I wanted to share that. Anyway, she was gonna speak about her new book called My Work, in a conversation with Kate Zambrino, whom is another like huge author who I haven't read any of her work. I've been eyeing Heroines for a while in some bookstores, and then many people read Drifts and really enjoyed it, but I don't have any experience reading Kate's work, so I should get on that. But they were going to be in conversation together, and My Work is probably up there with one of my favorite books this year. I thought this book was like insanely, what's the right word that I can use? Like ambitious, in a way that like she speaks about her experience of motherhood through this character Anna, and through like a narrator character, and the way she uses form and mixes poetry and prose and even like passages that are written like a play. So it's like funny, it's radical, because these days to talk about motherhood in such an honest way, in such a raw way, to talk about the body, to talk about all of those subjects, like to really speak about them very brutally, like is radical, like in our times still. And I just thought this was like so unique, and yeah, it just like really, really blew me away. I have like so many underlines and dog ears and stuff. So I was like super, super interested to hear her speak. So she was speaking the same day, and I was like, this day for me is like a literary dream. And I didn't know that she was speaking until I had already left the house, so I didn't bring my book of My Work with me for her to sign, of course. So I bought The Employees, which I have not yet read. And here's my little dedication signature. I just realized that she drew like a little planet, like a little Saturn planet, which is super cute. Such an inspiring conversation. I really wish my partner had been there with me, because maybe some of you know, but my partner also writes and writes a Substack, which some of you read, which is so nice, and thank you for supporting her. But yeah, I like, what was the point of this? Oh, that it was just such an inspiring, really, really inspiring conversation. And she was sharing so many things about writing and about craft and about inspiration. And she was talking about how the kind of Bible book of reference for her to write My Work was The Golden Notebook by Doris Lessing. And so there was like a whole section of the conversation about Doris Lessing, and also that this book was very difficult for her to write, that she left it at one point for a year, and in the like interim wrote The Employees. She was like, okay, I have to just leave this manuscript. I think I'm done. I can't write it. I need to just do something fresh. So she wrote like this little masterpiece, like you do. And then she came back to this while she was pregnant with her second child, and she was like, if I give birth for the second time, I will never finish that book, and I have to finish it. So, it's just, wow, like, the conversation was so interesting, and she was just so personable and funny. Like, I have a few Danish friends, and they all make me laugh so much. I don't know what it is about Danish humor that I find super, that just clicks with me. So I found her super funny, and yeah, I just like left that talk so full, and I had like a glass of orange wine, and I was sitting in the front row, and it was just like a whole thing. Um, and yeah, like spoke to her a little bit after about that I was happy that she mentioned that her works have been made into stage plays or like performances, because I told her, like, as a performance maker, when I read my work, I was like breaking my brain trying to figure out how I could maybe put some of this book in a performance, and so I was super happy that like people were doing that. Just so cool. I mean, that's right, that like the thing about New York also, that like it's just that hub where you get to meet those, you know, people that are um, those peeps, those peeps. I love meeting writers. The more I read, the more it really is very important for me. Those like small exchanges with the people who make the pieces that I read, and especially to hear them talk about craft and yeah, what goes into writing those books that I love by them. So it was just like such a crazy day, and I wanted to tell you about it. So that's that. I really think I'll never recover from Patti Smith. Wow. Oh, I wanted to share, I'm obsessed with a new YouTube channel. His name is Ross. I will write the handle here. We've been talking on Instagram. We were also just talking on Instagram about the Patti Smith situation, and it just like reminded me that I wanted to come on here and talk about it. And yeah, he's like new to posting videos, but already like exploding, obviously. And yeah, you have to. Oh my god. Yeah, you have to go check him out. You know, I love to give a welcome to more beautiful people on this corner of the internet. So go watch Ross's channel. I have the rest of his videos that I haven't seen to binge for the rest of the afternoon, which is always lovely. And then I'll either keep reading my Clarice Lispector or The Employees. So, oh, I didn't really show you much inside this book. A Book of Days is literally a book of days with photographs and Polaroids that Patti Smith has taken, and little like little pieces of writing for each day. Love you very much. Thank you for all your beautiful comments. Thank you for sharing that you enjoy the forum of these little MacBook webcam videos. Yeah, I was talking with Ross about like, it's just a game changer. It makes like YouTube so much more fun and easy for me, which is leads me to like want to do it more, and which leads to like the fun of having something consistent and having a more ways to connect with all of you. Shirt is Rebecca's shirt. I either stole it or she gave it to me. I'm not sure which one. Yeah, this is also a call to action that if you read a book that you really love, I know that that author wants to know. And I mean, if you meet them in person, that's incredible. I wish it upon everyone. But I think we need to write emails and DMs or whatever, if they're on Instagram, to the people that we read, because I feel like writing I'm by no means a writer, but you know, that's quite a solitary act. As much as like, actually, I had a really interesting conversation with one of the writers that was in the residency that Ohad and I went to, my partner and I went to, um, last weekend, and she was like, for me, the actual writing part, like sitting down to write on a blank page, is like such a small portion of the writing process. Like, the other portions are like calling my parents on the phone for many hours, and like actually I think it's, I do it a disservice to say that writing is a very solitary act, although like of course it's one person that needs to write it eventually, but it's not that it doesn't include many other forms of connection. But I do feel like once a book is out, I'm sure that the authors that we read would like to hear from us. And so it's my favorite thing to do, to like, and my dad used to do it a lot. Like maybe I was influenced by him, but like he used to email every author of a book that he would read. If he would love it, he would find an email, or find an email of a publisher or an agent or something, and he would send a little letter, which I just think is so, what the fuck's going on here? Which I just think is so wonderful, and yeah, with social media, it's a lot more accessible to do that even. So I've had like such lovely conversations with writers about just sharing my love for their work. So I call you to do the same, because um, we should tell any artist that we like their work when we do, I think. Okay, enough. Ba, 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 ba. I'll see you when I see you. Possibly soon, possibly not. Probably soon. Okay. Ciao.